What's up, everybody? It's Saturday, so you know it's going to be another breakdown. I'm Brian the Grizzly here. We got Tank over here. This way. Yeah, there you go. Anzo down below. Bigger Four Entertainment is in the building with us. Before we get started, Anzo, shout out your channel, man.
What's up, guys? Bigger Forward Entertainment. We do From Stuff, OOC. Make sure to check that out, man. And it's always a pleasure to be on talking about these good shows with these fine gentlemen over here.
Oh, man. Appreciate it.
Appreciate you coming in, man.
Always, guys, so we're going to break down Severance episode 2. This is such a good episode. It made me appreciate episode 1 more. I have to give Tank props. It made me feel like, all right, maybe it was as good as you said it was. So.
I can't wait to talk about it because, like, I love the tone of this episode and the way we got big information dumps that were, if you weren't paying attention, it flew right by because they dropped things that you were just like, wait a second, what did he say?
Yeah.
So well done, you know.
So I don't know if you guys can see, but I got notes.
Holy crap!
on notes. Like I was watching it and I was like, I gotta write this down because this is so intense. It's little things that you don't realize, like, you know, we'll get into like the tattoos or the cold harbor or all of those things and how important those will be going forward. I am loving it.
Yeah, man, I thought this episode was great. And the fact that I loved, you know, because I said in the first episode, I'm like, nothing really happened in it. You know, we got a lot of the innie stuff. And then we just got a whole episode of the outie stuff. And I was like, oh, that's perfect the way they did that. Absolutely fine. We don't have to wait too long to find out what happened with the outie world. And we found out this episode. And I was like, yes, great job.
And you can see the in between, like you saw what was going on in between these things. And I thought that was so well done.
Absolutely.
Hey, I got Nikisha in the building. Looking forward to this. I have so many thoughts. I wrote them down to make sure I didn't forget. That's me. That's how you realize you're getting old. Like you want to talk about something like, oh, yeah, I forgot that. Gotta write it down now, man. We got B in the building. Hey, yo, I'm watching Squid Game season 2 right now. I'm actually watching that in between watching all the other things I'm watching Squid Game too. So like it's crazy. I don't know. I don't know how to do it.
Squid Games was fire.
Squid Games
was fire. Yeah.
Was it as good as the first season?
It's
similar right now. It's very similar.
Okay.
I would say to me, I kind of think it is as good as the first season. I still think the first season is great, but I thought the second season really did. It started off to where I was like, it's the same thing. And then it switched up and I was like, oh, okay, that's good. Yeah, I like that.
Okay.
I got Dr. Deb in the building. Good evening, y'all. Glad you're here, Dr. Deb. We're going to have fun. We're going to do the same sort of thing, except instead of me having slides, Tank told me just to have we'll pull up the video. So I don't know. We'll see how this works.
See how it goes. You don't have to worry about taking that brightness up. You don't have to worry about that.
Well, yeah, Apple, you do. And it's a big play symbol in the middle of it, but we'll see how this works anyway. That's a lot less work, I tell you that much.
Yeah, that's why too.
So we'll pull this up real quick. Man, first thing I brought this up right away, because I thought this was a really important thing. When we had the fatigued Moppet, that little quote that everyone saw, and in the insult. So of course, you know, I'm looking like, the fuck is fatigued Moppet? So fatigue equals having a heavy offensive smell, and Moppet is child. So he walks up to her and he, you know, looks at her so disgusted and says, "Fatigued Moppet," and just walks away.
Like stinky child. Like,
and it was so weird because he's so eerie. He's in it just himself. He looks so weird, and that whole thing was just, I don't know how it makes you feel, but it made me feel just weird.
Very interesting because he was definitely disappointed with what happened, right? And the minute I seen this scene, I thought about what you guys talked about in the first episode, and I was like, that is exactly why that is Audi Haley inside there. and not any. She can control what's going on better. So I was like, yeah.
I thought the same thing. Like, he's so mad that she's like, a father like that always makes a child seem like they have to impress them or live up to their expectations, which is just unachievable, you know, especially with him, with his, you know, cult like following that he has. So yeah, I feel like she's gonna do whatever she has to do to regain control of the situation. So
absolutely.
Yeah, that's the thing. I'm gonna just read verbatim what I wrote down. Helena seems to have had a very sheltered life, not being able to do anything that she wants to do, no freedom. So she might have more in common with the Innies than you think.
Yeah, and we see more of that, what you said later on in the episode. You know, because that becomes real evident later.
So we had that, and you see her, the look on her face, which was crazy. I mean, I thought just how disappointed, how he left her like broken, almost shattered. It looks like she is shattered.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Yeah, B said, isn't Severance a show that they said they separate work life from home life?
Yes.
Yes. How can they make a show out of that? Exactly. Why would you be able to make a show out of that? It's a lot, B.
It's crazy that it actually works. You know what I mean? It's like, yeah, this show actually works. So I agree with you. It's like, that was like Lost. When I first heard about Lost, I'm like, who wants to watch a remake of Gilligan's Island? Until I watched the episode. And funny. I was like, oh, that's great. So same thing with this. Like, how do you make a show out of this? Then you watch it and it's like, oh, that's how you do it.
I would say the thing that got me sold on the show was the person I watched originally talking about the show before it was even, after it was done, I believe, before I watched it. He said it's the allegory of the cave story, but like modernized with a lot more kind of twist and drama in it. But I was like, but at its core, it's the allegory of the cave, which 100% it is. So, you know, it's just, I think, really the interesting way to go about telling such a I don't know, a folklore story, like kind of that timeless story. So
great.
So it doesn't sound that interesting. So it's absolutely brilliant.
Yeah.
Goes far deeper than that. Yeah. Well, I don't have Apple TV, but you know what? So I was talking to Anzo, and if it drops early in Canada, we might do a watch party on Wednesday night, late.
Ooh.
And allow everyone to check it out with us. So we'll give you, the website, and we can all look at it together.
Absolutely. I found out because I went to go watch it after my show on Wednesday night. Like I was going to watch the first episode. I was like, oh, the second one's up already. So when I seen that, I was like, well, that would be great for, come on here and show it for the people that come and watch you guys. So yeah, we'll do that if it comes on.
We want no excuses. We want everyone to enjoy this show as much as possible. So if we can figure out a way to get you to watch it, we'll do it.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Say I love Lost. Yeah, of course.
Absolutely.
Hey, good evening, everyone. So glad y'all doing this. Dude, I'm glad I'm doing this. I'm so excited. That's all I thought about all day. I was like, okay, I gotta get this done and this done. Let me hurry up and do my chores around the house and get my kids to sleep.
Get ready.
Everyone says, what's up? Good morning, good evening. So we got that. Then here's a right at the beginning, really interesting. I thought that was even with Dylan walking out and you see Milchek watching him, was this guy Drummond, or sorry, Mr. Drummond.
Yeah.
What was your first thoughts of him?
I think for me, he was like a hired goon. I think.
Okay.
I said he's going to be a problem. He's going to be a problem. You know what I mean? And sure enough, he hasn't really done anything yet, but you could see him spying and doing certain things throughout the episode. And I was like, okay, yeah, he's definitely going to end up being a problem.
Go ahead.
No, I was like, I believe the actor is the same one from, like at least the first season of Umbrella Academy, right?
Oh, I think you're right.
I want to say I didn't get a chance to look it up. I forgot about it, but I believe so. I believe he was also like a spy assassin in that part of it.
So I wrote a couple things down. First of all, because he looked like he's a protector, right? So the first thing I had just finished watching Supernatural. Totally just lets everyone understands. I had just finished watching episode of Supernatural, and he reminded me of a golem. And I don't know if you guys know what a golem is, but it's like a Jewish clay man brought to life to protect whoever's the person in charge.
Mm-hmm.
And that's the first thought I had. I was like, oh shoot, he's something there to be that protector. But then the further we went on into the episode, the more I realized he might be one calling a lot of these shots. Watching what's going on. So
interesting. Yeah, and I looked it up. I think I'm wrong. I don't think he was he was in that show. He's been in a bunch of other stuff though. Holy crap.
That's an actually good thought. I think he might be working for the old man and keeping an eye on what she's doing.
He's actually like her prisoner, her guard.
Yeah, like her wrangler.
It looks like she's like protecting. He's protecting her, but more than anything, he's watching her overall.
Mm-hmm.
We got Nikisha says Mr. Drummond, and it reminds me of Rickon. Like they could be related. I think Rickon has old money and maybe it's be severed. Rick in maybe everyone around Marquez besides his sister is severed.
That's it. That is interesting. I can see that, and they did that with another character, which I hope I'm pretty sure we're going to get into, where we saw another character that looked exactly like another character, like a new character, that looked like like Dylan, I would say. So that's interesting because I do get like a lot of Rickon kind of, but it's also just chunky white dude with a beard. Yeah,
but Rickon seems like the way he seems like he's weird, but he's the stuff he's saying is like almost prophetic a little bit too. So it kind of goes down the same world in the same zip code as what's going on with everybody in Severance. So it's like he's trying to be a Keir Egan in himself and trying to get his own followers. And every time I see the lady that she's the last one to go out, Rebecca or something like that. I think her name is Rebecca. I think that's a follower. He's getting followers behind him. So at least that's my thought process.
Yeah, I like that.
We also have it's Cobell, who the episode is really named for. And sitting there talking to Helena. I thought that was really interesting, and seeing them just going back and forth. And then the first thing Ms. Cabell really says is, I think apology is warranted. And it's Helena didn't skip a beat. She's like, I apologize. My father apologizes. The board apologizes. We treated you poorly. And she thought that she had the power again. So it was like all of a sudden Miss Cobell's like, oh yeah, I'm feeling myself. I got this power. All this stuff is going really well. And then they said, no, you don't have any power. Everything you thought was going on, nothing's working out. I thought that was interesting in itself too. So what do you guys think about this?
Well, she thought she was going to be, in charge of the severed floor. She was like, yeah, we need to do this and that. She's like, no, that's not what's happening. So I do think that, she didn't control it properly. And then she got involved in the real life stuff. I think that's a big issue, but they know she's an asset. So they wanted to make sure that they keep her there, but I think she's going to end up telling the dude some shit. Like she's going to go against them, Loomis.
That's a good question or a good point, because later in the episode you kind of get to more of her, but right here I feel like she's like, I saved the company, so I should get what I want. Meanwhile, I don't know what the promotion though, like, because they offered her the promotion, and I feel like is it
Severance Advisory Council?
Yeah, and she's like, I never heard of that, I believe, right? So is it something
you'll be flooring it, you'll be starting it. This is a brand new thing.
Yeah. So I don't know. It's usually when they do that, it's like, you have a meaningless title because you're too valuable to be not in the company, but they can't trust you with anything in the company. So they kind of give you this spot where like, okay, sit here and look pretty and shut up, you know? And I don't know. I don't know if that's what they're going to do with her yet. But she's smart. You know what I mean? Like, she got fired, saved the day for the company, and has a plan ready to rock and roll. You know what I mean? Like that's how committed she is to this company. You know, which is kind of crazy.
I'm not so sure, but
yeah.
I am not so sure. But I will say this: I feel like we're getting a little, I don't know, a taste of what happened beforehand. I don't think Mr. Millicek was always there. I think that he was brought in to watch her. Like the board was already, Millicek was brought in because they didn't trust everything about her. Something about her they didn't trust, and he was always brought in to replace her.
I can see that.
And then so now that they got a chance, they threw her in, you know, and now it's kind of happening, but they can't get rid of her. Like she was always, she felt that pressure. That's why every time she's talking to the board, she felt the pressure. I think.
Well, they can't. She knows too much, right? So you can't just get rid of her. She's supposedly unsevered. I mean, it could still be up for debate whether she is or not, but she knows way too much. So it's better to keep her as an asset than an enemy. But I think with the way what we saw in the episode, she's not happy with that, and I think she's gonna spill some beans.
I think that she always was. I think she's a mole.
Really?
Ooh.
I think she's working with that, the other group, the one that we met before.
Like the anti-lumen.
Yeah. I think she's working for them. She's the mole on the inside.
That would be interesting.
I can see that. Or I can see maybe what Millicek said, where she does have this weird
affinity for
for Mark. You know, I don't know if it's to the point where like she wanted like a throuple between his innie and outie. That seems weird, but I think she has this weird connection with him.
I don't think she sees him that way at all. I think that she's interested in what's going on, and his wife is the big thing. So like I think she's interested in it, and she feels a certain type of way because she's not severed. So she first feels a certain type of way because she has to live both lives. I think that's where I'm at. We got you guys with some really good stuff. I wonder if Millicek being secretly severed too. It was odd to think that he visited all the Audis at nighttime. What job comes to your house at night with pineapples? We'll get to pineapple. I was just thinking of that too, Nikisha, and she made an odd comment about thinking that she may need to change her name again.
So I missed that. And I watched it twice, and I missed that. But that's this whole episode, man. Like if you're not paying close attention, you miss little things with this episode.
So I'm probably going to talk too much. I apologize in advance. I just have so many thoughts. You ain't got to apologize at all. You know, this is what we do. you have comments, you need to go ahead and put them in. We're all about it. You have the same thoughts I have, so keep throwing them out there. Exactly. So yeah, great catch. She had her bird butt her head. It's the same place where they installed the chip. Oh. Behind her head, that little bird. Okay. Severance Advisory Council is just a way to keep an eye on her. Yeah. I love to sit here and shut up. A shut up job sounds lovely. She's probably got a raise. Sign me up.
I know.
You want me to sit here and just look pretty and do nothing? Cool. Let's do it.
But also, if a company can afford that, then that's a company you probably should be afraid of. It's like they just want you to shut up and sit there. It's like, if you don't shut up and you don't sit there.
What do you guys think? Do you think she accepted the position?
I don't think she's going to accept it.
I don't think she has a choice. I don't think she has a choice. It's like no. This is
she didn't have to move out. Now. Yeah. She didn't have to move out. I think she moved out because she did accept the position because she knew she had to.
Interesting.
She said they left it ambiguous, but I think yes, she has a goal to achieve.
Yeah.
I do think Mr. Kano is going to play a huge role. The new intro featured her, Miss Kano, featured her so prominently.
Yeah,
the new intro was
is that what's her name? Keep forgetting her name. Christine something. She was Phasma. She was in Game of Thrones. I can't think of her name.
Oh,
but is that who that character? Mr. Oh no, they said Mr. Kano. I was thinking of her. I'm trying to see who she is.
I thought it was Miss Kano.
Yeah, my bad.
I don't know. We'll get to that later. Yes, I think that she took the position. Yeah. So everyone's on the same page. Cobell. Gotcha. Typo, I believe.
Typo, yeah. Okay.
So Cobell is going to be a big one. Yeah. Cobell. All right. So the apology comes through. She's treated poorly. Brand new initiative. Millicek is now the new floor manager. And then she says something. She says, "You fear me." And then Helena looked at her right in the eye, smiling, very calm, very measured. "We fear no
nothing."
That's a crazy thing to say as a big company. We fear no one.
Yeah.
That's scary. That sounds like some Walmart-ish right there.
But it's also like you just apologize. You're like, I apologize. Everyone apologize. We're sorry. And then she's like, but we don't fear you. We don't fear no one. It's kind of like almost like we're saying what you want to hear, but also
we don't give a shit. You know what I mean? Like we don't really care. It's
exactly.
Like,
do you guys notice that Helena just seems so much more measured? It's almost like she has power around her, and she's been trained for all of this in her entire life. Which is funny because Helly is very just brash and says no filter, just says exactly what she's thinking. It comes from her brain to her mouth and goes right out. And it seems like Helena, everything she says is measure twice, cut once. Like you have it exactly what you want to get, and that almost seems like she's scary, but it seems that you can see her unhappiness because she has no anything.
Yeah.
All right, so they go through the whole thing. She walks out. Then we get this scene, and we see Helena putting her apology together. I thought that was an interesting thing. I mean, she says alcohol with a non-lumen medication caused her to say the things that she said. None of it was true. She's sorry. She understands her company represents millions of people or hundreds of thousands of people all around across the world, and that what she took as a joke was just totally a mistake, and she took all the hit herself. But she was so polished. I almost feel like she's done this before.
Interesting.
So I feel like it was planned out for planned out for her. Like the people above her, like her father, and people who work for her father, like, this is what you're gonna say to cover your ass.
Well, they must have a contingency plan always. You know what I mean, for a company like that and for what they do. So they must always have a contingency plan. I think this might have been part of it.
Yeah, but her just to like jump on the grenade, it's like it's pretty wild. I mean, ultimately it was her innie, so it was her, but still it was just like she's out here like, I got drinking problems and I messed up. It was like, damn. Yeah.
So Dr. Deb says it's such a strained and superficial conversation. Seems like all that was actually being said wasn't actually being verbalized. You understand? You had to read between the lines.
Yeah.
And here's a good question: who is the apology video for? Is it the news? Is it their investors? Are there the other severed employees? Is it just the board? Who is that is going out to?
I would think investors. You know what I mean? Because they're definitely doing this for a reason. They obviously had this big, gala to showcase what they were doing. So they definitely have some sort of investors. There's more to what they're doing down there, obviously, right? And it's gonna have a lot to do with dude and his wife. So it's gonna be interesting to see where they go with that. But yeah, for investors and stuff like that, I believe.
Okay.
Yeah, same. It's all the people that were at that party, which investors, executives, rich people, donors, all that.
So I was just typing the same exact question, Keisha. Possibly a last resort if needed. A contingency plan, exactly.
Yeah.
It says that's possible. I wonder, since her outburst seemed contained at the private event, so who else needed an apology? Because if no one else knows, because none of us believe that in the newspaper, right? The newspaper that Lumen creates, right? No one believed that, right? So I mean, who is his apology really going out to? It has to be just the people that were at the event,
right? Because so far, I think this has a lot to do with control. You know what I mean? And they're probably, we can control this environment and people doing this and certain situations. So what she had to do is come out and basically apologize and be like, I was out of control. So I believe it's something like that.
Exactly, Keisha. And they collected all the video from the gala. They stated that we collected all the video. Shouldn't be any rogue video going out there. So they're controlling it. Y'all remember last week when she said it had been 5 months? I literally can't stop myself from bragging. I was right. Hey, sometimes you just gotta go ahead and brag.
Yeah.
I'm okay with that.
I know somebody left a comment on our video from episode 1 saying like, oh, it needs to be this long because of blah 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 blah. And I mean, it makes sense, but like also it's like when a company doesn't care about money,
you want,
you're like, hey, you're working 24/7 and you're doing this, so yeah.
I'm doing a remodel of one of my restaurants right now. So we're going to close on February 23rd and we're going to open March 1st. We're doing a full remodel of our entire restaurant. You can literally do it. You can do whatever you need to do if you have enough money to pay for it.
Yeah, 100%.
Yeah.
So after the apology, he goes and she talks to Milchick and says, "Hey, you need you to go talk to every person who was who saw this stuff. I want to know all the people that saw them while they're out there for those 39 minutes. I need you to find out exactly what's going on." Right. So he goes out and goes first, finds Irving, and he talks to Irving and says, "Hey, so just follow up. We'll see what's going on. What actually happened? What do you remember?" And Irving was very coy, almost like he didn't trust him. And like, oh, I don't really know what happened. I was just here, and it is what it is, and it was fine. That made me think that Irving's also part of the anti-Lumen movement.
Interesting.
I mean, he had those visions, so I wonder if he's
been talking to somebody.
Yeah, I wonder if he knows something that we don't know yet.
Well, there's other things. I mean, we'll get to later, but the phone call scene. So. I believe he's in contact with some of those anti-Lumen people. Dr. Dev says, I thought it was incredible how 39 minutes is also the runtime of the first episode we saw. It all play out in real time. 39 minutes exactly.
Oh, damn. That's interesting.
He says, I want to go back and watch the one finale and see if that's 39 minutes played out in real time. That would be cool too. Why does Irving have so much cash on hand? Well, I mean, you saw he's a bachelor. He's living his bachelor pad. He's not spending money on anything else. He's an ex-military guy, which makes me think that once again he's been recruited by somebody.
Yeah. And he's kind of like he just stays at home all day, it seems like, like all he does is stay home and draw. And so yeah.
You guys are in sync. I was gonna let you guys know. You guys are super, super in sync. He already has to go back. Yeah. No, I mean, so talks to that and lets them know, hey, were you surprised that Milchick fired him?
No.
I was. No, I was because I thought, well, I don't know, because he said like, oh, they all quit, and obviously, it's a lie, but I was kind of, I mean, yeah, not, I don't know, not really surprised, but I don't know, because it would be the same thing like Miss Cobell, right? It's like, they can't really leave, so you kind of have to keep them here somehow, That's what I thought was gonna happen, but just flat out, I was like, "Yeah, you're done. Don't come back." I was like, "Damn, really?"
Well, the thing with them is, if they actually fired them, they never have to bring the innie out, right? So they'll never really know what truly happened. Yeah, exactly.
They're dead. Yeah.
Yeah. And she told him that it was his discretion to fire them, right? And he said, fire him.
She said, let Kier be your guide your hand. Let Kier guide your hand.
Right. So it was guided to fire them, and that's what he did, But it's funny, and I know we'll get more into it like in further episodes, but the only one they did not, and there was like no even consideration of firing dude.
Yeah, know what I mean? Marcus is essential to their plans. We realize that the further you go into these episodes, the more you realize how essential Mark really is.
Yes.
And that he was chosen for a reason. And that's why he did it, because his wife is is dead or whatever. But even when they get to it, so we get to that scene soon. When he's talking to Devin, it doesn't seem like Mark really went through all the things he needed to go through to figure out she's dead or not. He just seemed like he was such a trusting dude. He's a professor. He's college. He's part of the system, so he didn't think the system would ever choose him or mess him up. So thought that was very weird of him, because I need to see proof. I need to see triple proof. I need to see quadruple proof. If you're gonna tell me my wife's dead, I don't just see her in the back. You gotta show me what put a monitor on her. I got to see the plug get pulled.
Well, he did say he identified the body, but like you said, how much of the body did you really identify, right? Was it a look-alike? Did they make, what I mean, someone does look exactly like her or something like that? So that's going to be information we're going to figure out. But yeah, I'm definitely believing there was like maybe some kind of look-alike or something.
But I mean, it doesn't take a chemical engineer to be anyone. It takes anyone to watch CSI that knows that they have a chemical you can put in their body that slows their heartbeat down to a point where it's not being reached, and then 2 hours later they wake up. I saw that in Supernatural happen like 5 times. So I'm just saying, this is something that we see all the time. We watch a show.
Common practice in TV.
You know it happens. So I gotta see. You gotta show me. Oh man, but he was very cool. I gotta say, Mr. Milchick was very cool.
Fucking badass, jump on a motorcycle, just takes off. Got the cool helmet and leather jacket, everything.
So this was weird. His wife, the fact that they didn't show his wife, I thought that was kind of strange.
Yeah.
They talk about the kids, they do all this stuff. We saw what we saw last week, but the fact that we hadn't seen his wife just makes me have calls for word.
Who his wife is. Yeah.
What's really going on? Who is she? Oh, you'll make it. It's gonna be okay. So, yeah. This whole Dylan thing, I think he's going to be a very deep hole that we're going to dive into.
And I'm afraid he's going to be like the gut punch to the viewers. Like something's going to happen. I don't know what. But something's going to happen where you're just like, oh, why? I don't know if he's going to do it. Something's going to happen to him, but it's going to be him.
We're going to see his family, and we're going to have a whole different outlook.
What if it's Miss Casey?
Oh shoot! Yeah, no, yeah. Again, they stole from one and gave to the other.
Yeah, because how many times can you sever a person? I think they said you can only do it once, but can you? I mean, what else are they lying about? They lie about everything else.
I was thinking it was the person on the phone, the one who only talks to the board, going back and forth. The little secretary. I thought it might be. So
that'd be interesting.
Dr. Dev says seems Milchick made a bit of a rash decision in firing them. Excites his found power.
I don't think it was a rash decision. I just think it was Mark's the one they need. So they never thought that Mark would go so crazy with not having his team with him. You know what I mean? Yeah. So I think that's where he misjudged.
They're underestimating him a lot.
Yeah.
For someone that they're watching and need,
I know, right?
It seems very weird. So they need Mark long enough to finish Cold Harbor, whatever Cold Harbor is.
Facts.
So Gemma's body could have been burned so badly that they could have faked it with a different body and just put some earrings on her.
Yeah.
Those are the earrings.
You know what? To be honest with you, I'm beginning to think that Mark was picked. So they faked her death and everything and pushed him to go into that. You know what I mean? So I definitely believe he was picked for a reason.
I mean, the trauma of the experience is going to be enough in itself, right? So with the other MDR team members being so expendable, do you think that Mark is the only one whose work is actually doing anything? Everyone else is just there for show. I don't. I do. I actually think they are figuring out a gene sequence.
Oh, that's really?
I actually think it's a gene sequence that they're figuring out.
I don't think everybody else there is for show. Definitely not. I just think with the trauma of Mark losing his wife, I think that's what they're focusing on. And you know what I mean? Like, oh, guess what, guys? If you lose your life, sever, boom, you know what I mean? You will forget about it. And they did say something about, one time, or if I'm not mistaken, something about your inner life connecting or something like that. So, you know what I mean? Like if you're in it long enough, your outer body is going to start to feel a certain way to forget about the wife. Yes, exactly. So I think that's kind of what they're going with this experiment.
So they could have 3D printed a burnt corpse or just burnt a corpse and just put it in.
Yeah.
So I think that makes a lot of sense. Maybe it's about Mark and Gemma. I think it's 100% about Mark and Gemma.
Yeah.
They won't spoil it, but the episode counts on IMDb give me a lot to look forward to. I won't spoil it. I got you. Sam, I'm leaning that way as well. And he's talking about Natalie. Yeah, Natalie. I think Natalie's probably, that's why you control. And the people that aren't controlled, like Irving, that's why he's such a wild card, because there's no one on the outside that's controlling him.
Yeah.
Be interesting.
Yeah. But even Irving's outside life might start, because when we get into that whole part of
it's going to be
100%.
Yeah, I did not see that coming.
Like, why is he watching you? Okay. All right. So then we, you have the title and all that stuff. And then Marcus is sitting there talking to his sister. So when in episode 1, he asked her, so she said, "What's my name?" And he says Persephone, right? And I was like, then why do they call him Devin? Call her Devin. That's just a random question. Yeah, I just want to know.
that might be a sibling thing. Yeah.
I think his sister might be working with that group.
The anti
severed group. Yeah. I think she's working with them.
If she wasn't before, she sure the hell is now.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah,
for sure now.
I feel like the MDR team is still part of some overall grand scheme, but Mark is specifically working for Gemma's file. I think Gemma is the main thing for that area, because there's different offices all over the place. I think Gemma is the whole point of that team's, what their focus is.
Makes sense.
I love it. I think that's a really good one. Thanks, hey Drew. Hey, thanks for commenting.
Yeah, thanks for coming in.
So having a conversation, of course, the conversation is always weird, when Rickon's around. But Devin's asked some real good questions. So how much did you really see the body? Do you really want to talk about this? And Mark is just pushing her away, and like, you just screamed she's alive. He's like, it was the baby.
While holding a picture.
Yeah. Like holding it up, saying, no, it was the baby. And of course, Ricky said, yeah, I think it was the baby too. That makes perfect sense. Go sit in the corner.
It's like, you love to hate Rickon. He's such a tool.
He's not, though. I'm telling you, something's
up with him.
I agree. I like that idea.
Yeah, something's going on with him, man.
It could be him that's actually working with the severed group, you know. Maybe it's not the wife, maybe the sister. Maybe sister's just concerned for her brother, but maybe it's him because he seems too, you know what I mean? Like weird. So
trying to put some type of wall up or something. It seems very strange.
Pretending to be something he's not.
You
know.
So Devin was so smart to cover that picture when Milchick got there. Yeah.
Yeah.
I 100% agree. Do you think there's a chance there's another MDR team within the same building?
Well, they're macro, right? Why wouldn't there be a micro? A micro data, you know.
I don't believe it though.
I don't think so, but
I think, but there'd be a micro one in a different building. I think that this building's all about that little team, and it's all dealing with the same thing, about keeping them in line, keeping it as a work whole thing. I don't believe there's anyone else.
Yeah, I don't think. I don't think there's anyone else for doing what they're doing, but we've definitely seen that there's a lot of other weird shit going on in that building.
Exactly what I was gonna say, man. Like they walked in that room with the goat, and he's like, "They're not ready." It was like, "What?"
Yeah,
you know, like the even with Christopher Walken's character with all the artwork and stuff like that. I thought, that was super interesting.
But I feel like that was also like they're trying to brainwash or something like that. You're trying to keep them in a certain mind frame. That's why everyone's wearing blue and the calming stuff. And then all the paintings that are going up there are the things that they want them to focus on. And it's trying to get them all to Keir, Egan, and to accept him in that religion and that cult, whatever. I feel like that was the whole point. It's like controlling multiple things. But the goats, what do they do with lamb and sheep and stuff like that? That's the first animals they try to clone. So seeing that made you 100% think of cloning, right?
Cloning. Yeah, that is true. Or sacrifice, if you want to go back to the heaven and hell thing.
Go biblical. Yeah, 100%. I do believe it. You guys are 100% in tune with each other right now. So Drew says, my personal theory is that they are testing to see if they can use dead people for labor to decrease staff turnover. I'm very intrigued by what's so special about Mark and Gemma, two seemingly average people.
Frick, now that you brought up the clone stuff, maybe Gemma did die and she's a clone.
I don't think she died.
You know what I mean? That would be interesting. So I don't know. Because if you think that they're cloning the goats, right? Then to me it would seem like, and you said the thing had to do with when they're doing the computer, said it had to do with like DNA stuff like that, right? Maybe they're learning to clone people.
I think so. I'll get to that in a second. The clues like the goats and stuff feel like a super long-term thing. What would you guys you guess is the expected amount of seasons? Apple seems to love 3 quality seasons or shows. They love 3, but we'll go to 4.
Yeah. And I believe who is it? The showrunner and the producers and the writers, including Ben Stiller, they said they know exactly where they want to go with it and how many seasons they want to go, but they didn't say how many. But like you said, Apple likes to have short seasons, so I can see it being like 4, maybe even 5 if it has good ratings. 3 is too much, too little. From what I understand, they're already working on season 3 right now, like unofficially. But so I can see 4, maybe 5.
My thought is that once I think I said this on before on Monday, that they're going to clones, but it's not just cloning that you want. You want cloning, but you want it to live forever. You need the consciousness to be taken out of one and put into the other. And I think what they're working on is being able to take the thing that makes you put it into a computer program and then upload it into another body that they cloned. I think what they're doing is trying to find the things that make you see the thing moving, because that's what makes them the thing that the subconscious identifies with, and you're pulling that out and you're trying to download that into a computer and then be able to re-upload it into a body so they literally can live forever. So Keir Egan might be in a file and they're trying to figure out how can we get him to live forever, resurrect, born again, things like that. If it's a religion, you need that Christ moment, right? That's what I think is going on.
Might be interesting.
I like that.
Like them.
So I think that's accurate, but I believe the ultimate goal is successfully transfer the consciousness of Kier to a new. We here.
Yeah.
Also, I pray that there's a standalone episode replaying the day of Gemma's crash. Maybe Lumen has a crooked 911. Would be awesome for viewers to know exactly what happened.
There will definitely be a flashback to that moment, probably in the last season, wherever that is, or close to it. You know what I mean? But yeah, we're definitely going to see that.
Yeah.
Which is the significance of Cold Harbor. And with Cold Harbor was the moment that Kier died, or in some type of thing, something happened and it caused him injury. And that's what they're doing. This is a get out moment, guys. This is a get out moment. So I think Miss Hastings might be a clone too. I think she was in the big box Milchek had in his office, like they had unboxed her and set her up. Ooh. Yes, exactly. Wow, you guys are getting it. I agree about the Kier consciousness. Last season, Jane Egan told Helena that one day she will sit at the revolving. I think that was that reference. Yeah. As revolving, so she'll sit as his reviving. So I think that he's going to. I'm telling you, the born again thing is going to happen.
Yeah,
that's 100%. If you creating a religion, you saying this is a religion, it has to be a born again moment again.
Yeah.
All right, getting back to the show. So Devin is trying to dig in, and Mark is just being a dick to her and just kind of blocking it all, just saying, no, none of this happened, none of this happened. And Devin keeps on pushing. And of course, as I said, Ricky keeps on coming in and saying weird crap. And it's so weird because the baby's obviously not a baby. But I wonder if that's part of the show, that the baby really isn't a baby, now it's part of their cover. Oh, that's funny. But no. But
that's TV, baby.
Mark is starting to really think about what's going on, and he doesn't want to open himself up to it, and think that's why he keeps on fighting this the accusations that Devin's having.
And it was I was waiting for that moment, because in the last episode, Milchek was saying like, "Oh, your Audi wanted it. He was begging to come back. Like he wanted it so bad." And I'm waiting for that moment here. And I do like how they kind of slowly build up to it, and then we don't get it. So like this, him thinking about it, him constantly talking to people about it, like something's gonna click where he's just gonna be like, "Oh, I gotta go back in," So, but it never happens. And that was another thing why I liked about this episode is like you take the lie and you start to believe it a little bit as a viewer. So you're like waiting for this to happen, and it kind of builds up to it, but it never, because you got to remember, like Lumen is a bad company, like, but yeah, but he constantly thinks about it. He's constantly thinking about it. Every time they show Mark, it's what's the truth. Well, yeah. How do I feel? Yeah.
Well, the doorbell rings and Milchek is there. Hey, how you doing? How's it going? His fake smile and trying to control is hilarious.
So good at it, man. He's so good at it.
Sorry. Jane Egan is carrying Kier Egan's chip already. The Fed mop was a term from the 1800s. Seems like a word that Kier would use, and yes, the fake baby would be only a negative I have. We talked about that. The fatine moppet, meaning having a heavy offensive smell for a child, like like you or like you really shit the bed or something like that. Like you smell you smell of failure, and I think that's kind of what that was getting at. I think Jane used such archaic terms. Fed moppet reflects that as well. Partially a download of a previous CEOs already. Man, okay.
It could be. Maybe he's already figured it out. But
he can't maintain it.
Or something like that. Yeah, because that's such an old school kind of term. You know, I feel like somebody back from way back in the day would say that's like, you know, I don't know.
Yeah, they could definitely be farther along, and it's not perfected. And what they're doing is trying to perfect it. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
So
long
that's definitely
term
a possibility. Yeah.
So the only complaint I ever had about Severance is the pineapple reference. Before my favorite show, Psych, that was my favorite pineapple show. Yeah, Psych always did it. Quite honestly, I feel like I'm having a week between episodes allows too much to connect the dots. I feel like they're the fans are figuring out too much. Maybe they're spoiling it a tad. So hopefully the writing is surprising. We do this with Silo. We do this with From. As much as we could think of something, and that might be what they're thinking, they'll just throw something in there to kind of turn it a little bit.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
I think they figure out, okay, people might think this, so I'm gonna keep it away from this. Plus they had so much time. I mean, 3 years to figure that stuff out.
And to be honest with you, the way we do our things, like we're gonna get some stuff right, we're gonna get some stuff wrong. It's just gonna happen. You know what I mean? As long as it keeps us like this episode did, like, oh, that's interesting. It's fine.
Mm-hmm.
You know?
Yeah.
See, I think we're figuring out what they want us to know. I think more twists are coming because you don't even know that other characters are gonna come in and throw you for a loop.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, because even like Miss Wang, you know, like I heard a bazillion different like theories about her, you know, and I mean half of them, if they do any one of the like half of them, like I'm cool with it, you know, like you can do so much with this character and it can be satisfying for the story. So,
right.
You know, but that's how it's a good show. A good show allows fans to like have theories and ideas and a lot of back and forth, you know, with it. You know, that's why like a show like From, a show like Silo, a show like, you know, Severance are so engaging with fans, you know.
Mm-hmm.
Exactly. You could talk amongst each other and figure out things, and one person says one thing that brings another thing out. It's so good. I think that also is old time reference. Pineapples used to be a sign of hospitality and welcoming and privilege. It was also like, well, you thought of money. If you had pineapples, that means you had money too. So, but it was always welcoming. It was hospitality. It was about. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
A Melchek spinoff show would be kind of cool. Hasn't had a lot of backstory of him. Such an interesting person. Yeah.
Yeah, he plays that character so well, man. Just that creepy, cool guy, you know. That and then the shirt he always like wears with like, you know, the button down with the short sleeve. Like it's he has this vibe about him that's so good.
So just talking and theorizing with y'all makes the show even better. It makes me open my eyes more because you know what. I see things through one lens. It's the way you've been brought up, the way you see things most of the time. That's how you look at shows. But when you talk to other people that can see it from a different point of view, it really opens your eyes to the full view of stuff. And that's why I love doing this for everybody else and having, you know, all the comments come out and everyone talk about it because there's something I might miss. Just like Brandman when we had Helly last time, you know. Now that I watch it, I'm like, that makes so much sense. How did I miss it? But he knew immediately because of his point of view.
Yeah.
So my roommate thinks Wang and is Mark and Gemma's daughter. I'm insisting that there are never any hint of the word about them having a daughter. I think she could be a clone of Gemma.
Like aging up.
Yeah. And they're trying to figure it out. And then by the time she gets to the age, they're going to try to put the consciousness inside of her and try it and see how it works.
I heard that a lot too. That rumor or that theory, I should say. I don't know. The math just doesn't work out because if she's like 14, like how long have they been married for? How long have they been together for?
They could be aging it up though.
You know, yeah. Where she's, maybe she was pregnant during the time of death.
Gemma was she was coming to tell them, "Hey, I was pregnant."
You know, like they
found out about it. She went to a Lumen doctor to find out that she's pregnant, and they found out about it. And they said, "You're the perfect candidate."
Yeah, I just know like she's gonna have an important role in the season. You know, because like why else would you introduce like introducing characters is one thing, but she's a kid, and even the people in the severed floor, all the MDR people are like, why is your kid? Yeah, you were a child.
Like mostly because of the year I was born,
which was hilarious. It was so fucking funny, so funny. And it was like such a smart ass remark a kid would say too.
So Mark did mention that Alexa him and Gemma didn't want to have kids. They could be trying to throw us off. Yeah, especially because the gang here. Yeah, because we talk about all this fun stuff. Do y'all think the outside world is a normal world, like we live in, or some type of dystopian world that still is the USA? Very neat take on being a younger Gemma. What do you think? You think this is a regular world, or is it a different type of thing?
I think it's a regular world. I think it's a regular world.
Yeah, I think so.
I think
it's just an evil company, but which makes it even more of a regular world type of thing.
Yeah,
I heard multiple people say this, that because they talk about the Civil War all the time, that the Confederates won the Civil War. And because you always see it here in a Union one, so they went on a different type of slavery, and he exploited that way. I could see it being that way. That maybe the Confederates went, we went a different way, and then now they're using this because slavery became acceptable to them, and so they're going for the new type of slavery.
Yeah, that's interesting.
If Jurassic Park didn't teach us anything else, it's that cloning always goes wrong, but life will always find a way. I think the real world is our US is a dystopian. We're living in the end of time. Just don't realize it yet. Hey, Nikisha, if you read Shift, or I'm gonna say just read Shift. That's all I'm gonna say. I'm almost at the end of the book already.
Damn, really?
Just start flying through it. I'm on chapter 61. So Milchick is there, and I thought what was really interesting was this scene. The first thing he does is put down his helmet in a place where everyone can see it. And then, of course, Rickon says, "Oh, that's a beautiful helmet." Once again, trying to take the idea of why would we put this helmet right here. I'm telling you, Rickon is something with him. So why would you put the helmet there unless it's a camera for the rest of the board to see what he's doing? That's why he's wearing it. He's traveling. That's why he's holding it the entire time. That same way, so the board knows exactly what's going on and exactly what he's doing.
That makes sense.
Even like I didn't even see this, but like how you have it there, like the reflection of the light almost looks like an eyeball. You know what I mean?
It does. It does.
I mean, because stuff like that is like, oh yeah, whatever. Trust me, directors know that shit, man. They little things like reflections of lights, like that stuff they all look at, reflections in general. I have a meaning, so yeah, but I didn't even notice like that looks like an eyeball, so
eyeball within the eyeball looking, always watching you.
Yeah,
that was the point. He doesn't want to do anything without setting it in the right way so everyone can see exactly what's going on.
Yeah.
So I thought that was interesting. Then goes Milchick talks about they're awake for 39 minutes. He wants to know if anyone remembers anything. Devin says, I spoke to him, and he's like, what did they say? What did he say to you? And she was like, F you. I'm not telling you nothing. But basically. So I thought that was great. And then he said something that said, hate to reward his courage with non-existence. So he walked away, and they were like, well, I don't know if I'm actually gonna come back. And he was like, no, what he did was wrong, but also what he did was very brave. And I hate to reward his bravery, his courage with non-existence. And that just hit me. Yeah, just plain and simple. That was a cold line, and man, he just has a way with words. And I don't know if he planned it out or what, but that was cold. Yeah. What do you guys think? So about that line?
Let you go.
Go ahead. You go.
All right. Yeah, it was so good because it was just like, hey, what your guy did was a good thing, you know. So he's kind of like the company's behind you, and then it's like you don't be the bad guy in this situation. And I was like, damn, man, it's like perfect like role reversal, like kind of, you know, like reverse mind games kind of thing. And and like I said, he does it so well in a tone where it's just like we believe in the innie. He goes, you don't be the bad guy in this situation. It was like, damn, like
definitely a Jedi mind trick, you know what I mean? 100%. He was like, oh yeah, you know, I would hate to, but we all know what kind of panic they were in when it happened, right? So you're sitting there lying to him and telling them, yeah, you know, you were the hero and you were brave and you did this and that. No, we just need you to get back to work. That's what we need. So
it was so one, maybe the word when she said, make Kier's guide your hand. Maybe what that meant was that they're watching. They'll let you know what to do. And that's why we see the scene with him with this helmet just like that. They're telling him, he has an earpiece in, they're telling him what to say or what to do. So he's not making any of those decisions on his own.
Yeah.
You know, Mark's very unimpressed.
As the usual.
And I think this is the line where he says, you know, don't reward his courage with non-existence, which is crazy. And of course, he leaves, goes about his way. You know, he goes and fires everybody. So, you know, Irving now knows he's fired. He's gone. Same thing. Devin knows he's fired. And then we see this scene, if I can get it right here, which is really interesting with Helena looking at the cameras and really checking out the life that she's living. And I felt something about this. Looking at Mark, about him, a lot of stuff. And of course, Mark gets home and sees, you know, Miss Cobell's not there, but she's starting to like him, right? And you see her in this scene.
Yes.
Woo!
This is a great scene.
I'm just gonna play it real quick. I don't care. We'll cut it out. We gotta cut it out. But her looking at it was so intense, and I really thought this was amazing. And I want to talk about why. Comes back in and she kisses him, and she just kiss him. Look at her face. She's like, they get to another scene. Just in case we make it, or in case we don't make it. Either way, we need to know. But she just looking and she's shocked. Now, why? Why is she so shocked? That's what I want to ask.
So, go ahead, Tank. You go first.
No, go ahead.
So, I believe, you know, in her outie life, she's never really had love. And now she's watching her innie life, who is kissing this dude, and she's extremely curious as to know why the innie has connected to this guy. And her outie life can never do it. That's why I believe she infiltrates it more than anything.
Yeah, no, I'm right there with you, man. She's like, how does this person who only lives in this floor in a building have more of a life than I do, you know? And I think I wonder if this is where she might start to change a little bit, you know? Like you start to question yourself at one point, you know? It's like who's really free, you know, the person who's able to challenge authority, who's able to ask questions and kiss, you know, a person that she might have feelings for, or the person who's in the free world, you know, quote unquote, who's like under the watching eye of her father 24/7 and cannot mess up ever in her life, you know? So it's like it's a really like interesting like thing for her, you know. And she watches it over and over a few times, and at first I thought she's watching it because she's looking for like, oh, maybe she handed it a note, but after watching the episode again, it's definitely like more of like how can this person be me, you know, like something like that, you know. So yeah,
and because she knows about her innie life, right, I think she's pretty much like kind of jealous, you know what I mean? Like, oh wait, what's going on here? Like, You know, she's falling in love and I'm not. Yeah, it definitely may make her change sides. It might.
Okay. I'm going to read verbatim exactly what I wrote down because you guys are hitting all that stuff. So Helena looks at the tape of Mark and Helly. She studies the kiss. Helena first seems jealous of Helly, like she has more of a life inside inside than she has on the outside. Especially afterwards, she seemed to think of all the innies as less than a human being, and spoke of that in her speech and all her commercials that they're not really alive. I'm the one in control. Even when she was talking to Helly, I'm the one in control. You're just inside there. You're me. I'm not you. That's how things work, and that's how she kept on saying. And now, after we see this kiss, she starts to realize all the things that are going on, the freedom she does not have, that she's really the slave, and that she's actually free inside.
Mm-hmm.
One to
go ahead, sir.
No, I think that she wants to have a taste of it because of that scene specifically.
I agree with you. It's also because she knows about her outie and innie life. It's like, which person am I really? Am I really my innie, right? Who's there and fell in love, or am I this heartless bee outside? You know what I mean? Like, because she has the consciousness, so she's now like, maybe this is really me. Maybe the innie is who I really am. So I think that's interesting.
Yeah.
I love that scene. Yeah,
it's a really good scene.
And then with no words being said, to see all this come through her face, and that was interesting. You know. And then you see her back in the office,
and this is all still happening that same night. That same night, you know, at the end of episode in the last episode of season 1. You know, this was all that same because she's still in the dress watching this stuff. You know, like Milchek. This all happened at night because it was like, you know, he has to go check on him like ASAP. You know, even Mark is still at his sister's house.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
Let's read some of the comments you guys are doing. So Devin has become such an intriguing character. So another personal theory: Lumen owns massive amount of water. All the treats and melons are pineapple, mainly water based. Watermelon, pineapple, all the melon and all the parties.
Yeah,
so that's a good point. Devin is a beast.
She's badass.
Milchik is a master manipulator. I like Devin too. Dylan is my favorite, but Devin is second. Dylan is hilarious.
Yeah, he is.
I do wish Devin hadn't made the comment about Mark's getting punished though. And they say, "Oh, we don't do that here at Lumen." So Dylan is fantastic too, Nikisha, especially the dichotomy of his having so much confidence as Ali lacks it.
Yeah.
And he was kind of mean to his wife. I was like, bro, he's trying to support you, man.
Yeah.
You're not appreciating what you got, and that's always dangerous. Yeah. You can be as upset as you want, but be careful who you take it out on.
Facts.
And any Dylan would never do that. He would appreciate her.
Yeah. I mean, that's what he says.
So yeah, Nikisha, I thought the exact same thing. So Elena nasty. She likes to watch. Is it really watching if you're watching yourself? I don't know. I think Devin made herself a target with that comment. Also, like, no, don't eat at Pips.
Yeah, I know. Always eating at Pips.
No, Elena switched sides and will join the innies.
That's the question.
But what about Helly being? Is Helly dead then? If you don't let her come out, is Helly dead?
I mean, that's what they always say, right? I mean, when a person doesn't come back, when they retire, like the other innies see that as like a funeral almost, like they're dead, like you're killing the person. Even Melchek kind of hinted at that. Like it'd be sad to see the inner Mark die. The
word of courage with non-existence. He doesn't exist anymore.
Yeah. So, but if she's if she switched the sides, that'd be interesting. But then that's a whole nother dilemma that she has to deal with. Like who becomes that who controls that body? Is it her or is it Helly? Like who is she going to allow to
It's
be?
very substance issue, isn't it?
Like, yeah, kind of.
2 weeks on, 2 weeks off. Yeah, I remember. I agree, Elena. I wasn't a fan of her being in MDR as a spy, but these motivations are far more interesting. It's Dr. Dead by Head that they went to Pips 2 knowing it's also closely affiliated with Lumen, but it's probably the only place that could go get a free meal.
Yeah, but he got a gift card last season. Or he got a few gift cards then, right?
That's exactly what he said. He got all the gift cards to eat their Pips. You very well wait, man. Yes. What's up, Delta Dan?
Yo, what's up, Delta?
Appreciate you jumping in.
Yeah.
I don't think they die. I think they just a lie. They tell others lies.
Yeah, well, they don't die in the literal sense. It's just that they never come back out. You know what I mean? They're probably still in there, but you just never brought back out. Yeah.
But what happens when you unsever people? We saw, you die.
PD.
Yeah, PD. Well,
did PD get unsevered, or I forget. I got to go back and watch it because PD always confused me as a character.
Because did he get unsevered? Because the chip was still in his brain though.
Because he got flashes of both lives, and which was making him crazy. Like legit crazy. So
he still had the chip in him, but I believe there was some sort of blocking it, right? That's why he was pretty much unsevered. Because you see how they could turn it on and off, right? Whatever he did, they blocked it from them being able to turn it on and off on him. So he still had the chip in there. Yeah, right. But whatever that was that happened to him, I think that's what kind of killed him. Plus, they did say there hasn't really been a way to unsever them successfully yet, right? So
yeah,
even though Miss Cobell said you're all lying, you're stupid. That's what she said. So you see Mark trying to figure out what the hell he's going to do, looking out the window, trying to figure out what's my next move.
Yeah.
Okay, one thing I liked about these scenes too is that you could see that these Lumen, they just lie their butts off to get whatever they want. You know what I mean? Because Mark was like, "Oh, I don't know if I'm going back," but he was like, "Yeah, you begged to come back." So it's all one big lie.
They also said they offered them more money. They said, "Hey, we're gonna give you a 20% increase." I don't know about y'all, but 20% increase is a lot.
Yeah,
it's a lot.
I was like, "Are you serious? This is what's going on? 20%?" So,
yeah. But I mean, I don't know about you guys, but I really started feeling bad for Mark because, like what does he do? Because part of him doesn't want to go back because he's like, I don't want to deal with that no more. But then, like his sister and everyone keeps talking to him. Is like, but what does it mean? What does it mean? And it's almost like he's fighting his own emotions. Like he wants to accept that she's dead. But everyone around him is like, but why did he say that? So it's like, I can't even imagine what's going through his head right now.
He's going through a major depression still. So I mean, how does he deal with it? That's the real question.
Yeah.
Say, Peter was reintegrated but failed to follow the aftercare instructions.
Yeah, that's right. The reintegration.
Yeah, she did say obese. Yeah. Peter didn't follow Rigovi's aftercare instructions. That's what she said. He died. Yeah. Said, I need to start checking my comments to see if they say it right before I hit enter.
Just copy and paste.
Dan says 20% is a huge raise. I remember getting like a 2 or 3% back when I worked at Comcast or now Xfinity. When you talk to teachers, they always say we need a cost of living increase of 3% every year. That's just cost of living increase. So now you're doing 10 times the cost of living increase. Do the math. You make $50,000 and you get a 20% increase. You get $10,000 increase. That's pretty good, man.
That's pretty good.
So I say he's, looking at the one and trying to make a decision. He's trying to figure out. Now we get to Dylan. He goes on a job interview. We see him going to a door company. Great Doors. That's the name of the company. It's like, what? Okay.
This scene tripped me out. This whole interview thing, because it threw me off, man. It threw me off.
I wrote it down. He said, everything's going well until he finds out he was severed. Great Doors. He asked him this question. He said, if you could be any door, what door would you be? And then Dylan says, a pocket door.
Pocket door.
Great answer, right? Because you can come in, you can pop in, you can pop right back out, whatever. And he says, what type of gloss? You gonna be glossy? You gonna be flat? He said, semi-gloss.
But he said that with like so much like, I got you, man.
It was so funny because the guy sat back in the chair. He was like, oh man, you're just like me. I see you. You can go far in this company. He started looking at his resume. Oh, you work for Lumen. He was like, oh yeah, I gotta let you know I was a severed employee. And he was like, severed? What?
Mm-hmm.
Get out of here. What he said, we're looking for a certain type of person, not two certain type of people.
Yeah.
Like, wow.
It's just really interesting how just this random person that we just met, he knows about the Severance, but how much like emotions people have towards the Severance, kind of the whatever procedure kind of thing. It's like damn, like, because he completely switched his attitude, and got like angry and got like disgusted almost,
almost like he was talking about slavery.
Yeah,
just saying.
Yeah.
Delta Dan said they did look like Great Doors though, guys.
You saw him in the background. He's going by.
So the whole scene was amazing. I really agree.
Even how it ends, he goes, that might be acceptable at a car. Or you go, what do you think we're running, a carpet store or a carpet company? I was like, what? That doesn't even make sense. Like the whole scene was just so stupid.
Notice how empty the door company was, just like Pips. Not a lot of people. Okay. Why do they have to look alike? Man, I remember this guy though. I know who both of them are. So
who's
that's
the other dude.
You haven't seen? He's been in a lot of commercials, a lot of TV shows. There's been a lot of them. Like, yeah. What's the one that he was in recently?
Because they look so much alike. Where it tripped me out. Where I'm like, is that this? Did they just put makeup or something on him? Like, did they just change it up? Because holy shit,
you don't remember? Oh my god, what is the thing that he was?
The beard, the glasses, the suit, everything.
Like, he's been in a movie recently. Like recently, like he's a comedian too. So like I definitely have seen him multiple times.
Yeah, it did trip me out though. It was like, why?
It's a good point, Keisha.
Adrian Martinez is his name.
Like, I've seen him a lot. Look at what the last thing he's done. Like, I know I've seen him recently.
Blue Bloods, Lisbeth, Severance, Ghost, Only Murders in the Building he was in. Last week with John Oliver, he did a few things. Renfield.
He's been on a lot of stuff. So, I mean, we've seen all of those. So, I mean, you said all of it. All makes sense. Nikisha says, I like the pocket door comment because it was a metaphor for severance, being able to tuck it away. The yellow background and my picture is a pocket door. Here it is, to my laundry room.
Although I never had pocket doors until I moved into the house I'm living in now, and there's so many, I fucking love them. Like, I fucking love them. Like when I redo the basement, like every bathroom's getting a pocket door, bedroom's getting a pocket door. Like, I love them, man.
Gone. Here, gone.
Oh, it's so good, man. I love them.
Oh, that's awesome, guys. But the way he flipped the switch, he just said, "Hey, interview's over." Said that's that's not fair. He basically said, he's saying that, what's the EEOC? Equal opportunity, employment opportunities, and he's like, I'm gonna go tell somebody. He's like, we're not looking for that type of person. So I thought that was funny. Seeing them together. Get out of here. And he's in his car talking to his wife, being mean. She called him twice in a row. And that's what you see. He's like, read the room. Obviously, I didn't get it if I didn't answer the first time.
Wow.
I think we've all had that conversation. So, oh man, so that was fun. Let's go 29. Because now, of course, Mark is having lunch with Devin, and
another great. Oh my god, this scene.
First of all, he's being a complete dick to her. But you understood it. It was like so. Marcus, he said he had a problem with her saying us, and that she's been affected by his wife. Yeah, which is like, come on, man. Like other people also have to deal with it, but he's like, really? Did you had to smell her sheets in her for weeks after she died? You know, did you have to identify the body? Did you have to live your life without it? But that's not the same thing. Right? She's trying to help you, and he's pushing away anyone that's trying to help him, and that shows that he's going through a major depression. That shows what he's in, and it's good for context for us to understand what's going on with him. It's
absolutely, yeah.
It's just sad, man. You know, like you say, he's pushing away his sister, but it's just like
he's also the only one that seems to love him.
Yeah, that too. You know, it's just man. You know, I think this is another thing where this is the peak of feeling sad for him, because instead of accepting that other people also felt the loss, he's like, no. I'm the only one that felt this. Like you, like it was, you know. And then you know, he says about his brother-in-law, her husband. Yeah. You know, he goes, I wouldn't even care. I was like, bro, that's cold.
So like, Mark said, if Rickon died, I'd be sad for you, but I wouldn't be affected.
That's
like Rickon. What?
Yeah. I mean, I don't blame him, because as of right now, like Rickon's kind of a dickhead, you know.
Hey, not to his any. He started a revolution. Rickon started a revolution.
That's true. That's
so
true.
On some level, Mark clearly knows that she's alive. That's why he's so defensive.
Could be. Yeah.
I agree. Yeah.
That he's fighting with this like new revelation where like, is she really alive, kind of thing.
And it's funny because he did it. Like he got up and walked away after he just said all that stuff about Rickon. He's the one that got up. He's the one that was upset. Yeah, like dude, you just said the most awful thing to the only person who actually cares about you. That's pretty messed up.
Yeah, it was sad. You know, but like you said, you know, he's going through that depression. He's just going through this thing where like, I'm the only one that could be sad right now. You know.
So we see the pips. Let's see if I can pull it up. Stop it right at the right time. As he walks away. Right there. Frolic. So it says Frolic on his hand. Why is that so important, guys? Why is Frolic so important? Do you guys remember? Okay. So Frolic is tattooed on Mr. Drummond's hand, right? Here, Egan said in the first season, he said there's 4 parts to every soul, or the soul was made up of 4 tempers. Right? He said woe, frolic, dread, and malice. So this guy's Frolic. You know, he said those 4 things. So those are the 4 parts of every soul, basically. The 4 tempers of every soul. Woe, frolic, dread, and malice. So obviously this means a lot more than he's not just a bodyguard. He's much more. And also he's definitely a true believer. For him to tattoo that on his hand, he's a true believer. I think that's something that's very obvious with him now. So
or you know, what if like he's literally part of his soul. He's just a splitted part.
Oh yeah, so he's
a severed part of the soul.
And then so instead of being severed, they want to put it back together, and they need to use this information. I like where you're going. I like where your head's at. Because
if we see another person with another tattooed somewhere else,
or dread or malice.
Yeah, I can see malice.
We'll see. Yeah,
yeah, I can see malice. Yeah,
that's why this was very important. Seeing this, and this was just such a quick scene, and I said, "Frolic, I remember this."
I did not, man. That's a good catch.
Facts.
But yeah, I think that he's something. Let me see what you guys said. So he wants some waffles, I bet. The suppression. It's trying to suppress the stuff. Yeah. So maybe Drummond has conquered or tamed Frolic. That part of the soul.
Part of that. Yeah.
Or that's the part that he doesn't control, and he has to remind himself.
Yeah. Yeah. Also, I like Delta Dan. It made me laugh. He goes, "I had a Google Pocket door."
If you live in the older house, sometimes all you gotta be. I think it was 99, 95, right around the 90s. You're gonna have a house with pocket doors. It was all. I remember because that's what we get. Yeah, pocket doors all over house.
Yeah. Like I said, I didn't know what pocket door was until like 8 years ago. So I moved in the house with pocket doors. Loved it.
All right, so once again at nighttime, Milchek is coming to visit again. Kind of weird, but okay. So this is the scene right here. Once again, something we might have to cut it out. We'll see.
No, you're good. Oh yeah, it's Irving.
Irving goes in, is going to make a call on his payphone. So he walks all the way to the payphone, is making this call, and we don't know who it's to. We don't hear anything about it. We don't know what exactly is happening. A car pulls up and turns off their lights.
Who did you think it was at this moment? Until before they showed it, who do you think it was?
Mr. Drummond.
Same.
Agreed.
And he kind of looks at him and he walks away into the darkness. And the fact that it's Bert blew my freaking mind. I was like, what the heck happened? How?
Yeah. Why or how? Like that's wow. So
maybe they had more of a conversation. His Annie and Bert had a conversation. Maybe there's something there. Maybe Bert was part of the control. Maybe he's part of the system. Why would he be so okay with going ahead and be unsevered again? Or not unsevered, but just not worried about going back in there or being retired.
Wow. Or maybe if you don't go back in, does the chip start messing with you? A piece of electronic just doesn't sit there for so long. Shit happens. There's things inside that start to rust, or expand or blow up and shit. So, what if that thing doesn't get triggered every so often? Does it start to fry some other parts of his brain? So is he starting to see glimpses?
Or did he have the overtime thing entered, and they're using him to do it?
Interesting.
That'd be interesting too. Uses any on the outside. That'd be interesting too.
Delta Day says, I was born in 85. I had no idea. 85 is not. That's not 1985. I was born in 1985. What you talking about? He's 84.
Yeah, I'm 84, and I found out like not that long ago, man. So
maybe I just know. I'm not going to put Anzo out there. So, but I know it.
I'm 50. I had to look it up tonight too. Right there with you, man. I had to look it up too. Like, when was a pocket door?
There was a poster in the office setting in the previous episode that said Frolicaholic.
Oh,
interesting.
Okay, check that one out.
So I think the message is the painting that Alties keep doing.
I
got you.
Yeah, with that like black door kind of thing that they see.
Well, I think that's the elevator.
Yeah,
he's been down there.
Yeah.
Did y'all hear what Bert said on the phone? Was really interesting.
No,
I didn't.
Yeah,
see
he says something about you not answering all his calls. I get it. I understand. I get it.
I just thought he was talking to the black lady from the season finale of season 1.
That's what Bert said, or Irving?
That's what Irving said, right?
Okay. Irving, yeah.
That's what Irving said. So I don't think Bert said anything.
Yeah.
Yes, I agree. Yeah, I couldn't hear what he was saying. I had to go back with subtitles. Oh, okay.
Oh, damn! I didn't even think about subtitles. That's good.
Do you think Irving left a message for Regavi? I don't know how to spell her name, but the one with the Kill Granger. Exactly. That's exactly. We're here. The exact same thing I'm saying. Yeah, that's what he put it. I think our best guess at this point, Nikisha, that's our guess is that how to spell her name too.
Yeah.
No one knows. So Mark, trying to undo the light bulb again at nighttime. Why did you wait to you ain't got nothing else to do? Why you waiting to nighttime to do the light bulb? I don't understand. And Mr. Milchick is there for a pineapple and some fresh fruit, as you guys said, from Lumen, a nice fruit basket, which is funny because of what Miss Cobell says later. And right when I saw this, I said, "What's the significance of the pineapple?" You know. So, flow from seeds and a pair products. Oh yeah, okay. So he tells them, it's be a shame for you not to come back. You should come back. We give you the raise, the 20% increase with return, and all that stuff. So trying to do whatever he could do. And my question is, what is Cold Harbor, and what's the importance of Mark finishing the Cold Harbor file? So, but we wouldn't have known if Mark never went back. Well, obviously Lumen is thinking about that and talking about those things too. So
yeah.
So stop the screen.
Was there a pineapple involved? Yeah.
She knew that though, and it's like I think they're playing their greatest hits all the time. It's the same thing over and over again.
Yeah. Dan said, "What's the pineapple basket?" I know we talked about it a little bit. It's just like what was it like a greeting? Like
it's like hospitality. It's about trying to it's manipulative, but it's very hospitality. It's an old 1800 thing that they used to do all the time. So once again, this show is all about that, all like that. So
stuff. When you looked up that word, the phrase that Egan, or was it Egan? Whoever the dad name is, I can't.
For Ted Moppet.
Yeah, Ted Moppet. Well, like, when was that like a popular term?
1800s.
Was it also 1800s?
1800s. For Ted Moppet is something. It's not a term. It was something that was made up. But fetid does mean having a very heavily defensive smell, and Moppet means child.
Can you imagine 200 years when people have to look up what the fuck skibbity toilet means? Like, like what the fuck were they saying in 2025?
No one knows.
Yeah.
But once again, Milchick knows how to be manipulative and get all the best out of it, giving you more money, give you more opportunity. We're going to bring you in. And Mark thinks about it. Yeah. And it was obvious at this point that he was going to come back in, because also it's the feelings that Devin says too, about his wife. He has an inkling that that's something's going on too, so he's now intrigued by it. So I thought that was cool.
Yeah.
He comes in. He's in the parking lot. They see him in the parking lot. If we can get to it, then they ask Milchick, who's gonna be the best people on this team? Where'd you get them from? And he said something. He said a floater from overseas and a pair from 5X. Obviously, we don't know what that meant at all. A floater from 5X or a pair from floated from overseas or a pair for 5X. We don't know what happened, but I think we're going to get some insight into what happened later. As it might be a quick scene, but it's going to tell us, 5X was blown up by something else, so someone else messing something up.
Mm-hmm.
And the floater from overseas made me feel like that was a spy. That one of those people were a spy, was entered in there to spy on them. And he's like, this is all I can do in 48 hours. So literally, this happened like on a Friday, and he went back to work on Monday.
Yeah. Which I found that like so awesome because like it's so quick, you know what I mean? So it's like they gave us the time frame of the 5 months in this episode, But again, if you didn't catch it, like it was just like, oh yeah, whatever. It's been 2 days. It was like, because later on we get another time duration, So, but yeah.
So what you're saying? It has actually been 5 months?
No,
it's been 2 days.
Okay, yeah. That's what I'm saying. Yeah.
Because that was a big issue. It was like, oh, it has to be 5 months because blah blah blah, and they did this and this happened, this happened. So, but now we're finding out.
It's only 2 days.
Yeah.
So the pineapple basket was twice. I think the pineapples are just referencing that Kier time period again. Exactly. Exactly. In the trailer, we see a lot of snow. It has to be related to. Yeah. So there's something going on with the snow, and something that they're able to get outside and get together. So that's going to be super interesting when we see that. Just Googled it. I wonder if the pineapple related to the colonization, if you know any history of Hawaii, and then Lumen takes over bodies the way that they took over the Hawaii's land. I might be reaching, but the floater from overseas was the guy speaking Italian. Oh
yeah, it was an Italian dude.
He's definitely a spy. Yeah, pineapple gift typically symbolizes hospitality, welcome, warmth, essentially signifying that the giver is pleased to have you and wants to make you feel like you're a valued guest, much like how historically displaying a pineapple at home indicates a welcoming environment for visitors. 100%. You guys are 100% on there.
As long as it's not an upside down pineapple.
As long as it's not upside down.
That means something else. Google that. Or maybe don't Google that.
Don't Google that. Don't listen to him.
Bastard's gonna make me go Google an upside down pineapple now.
Don't do it.
It does mean something.
So right here is where I thought it's possible that he meant more than just a bodyguard. Mr. Drummond had something more because it seemed like even Helena was answering to him. And once again, you have the person who speaks for the board, who I think is who's married to Dylan. I think we're going to see that later. But that's what I think is going
that's
on.
Right, yeah.
But regardless, got to seeing the kids. That's what I thought. But it seems like they were answering to him. Like he is the speaker of the board, or he's really a big part of the board. He's just a walking member of it. Yeah, so that's why I thought that he meant more, especially after the tattoo and all that stuff. But
well, her being the husband for Dylan would make a lot of sense too, because in season 1, when Milchek had to talk to Dylan, like the wife would be okay with that.
Exactly. Exactly. So it's obviously someone who's a mole that knows what's going on. Damn. So that's why I thought. Well, we saw the people that came in. We saw all of them. Well, we saw the guy and we saw the girl. We didn't see the floater.
No.
The Italian dude.
I see right here. Okay. That guy. And then you see this time sequence, right?
Oh, yeah.
Coming in at 9. You saw the thing, and then you see him leaving at 5 over and over again.
I think 3 times.
Three or 4 times.
3 or 4 times, something like that. Yeah. Which, man, that was so interesting. Like,
hello, goodbye.
And that security guard knows something's up.
Yep. And he looked more and more depressed every time.
Mm-hmm. And then it gets to the last episode. Now we're finally caught up.
Yep.
Yeah.
All right. So I don't know if you had something to say before we move on.
No.
What do you think happened? What? Because he wasn't going to the floor. He was going in the elevator, and something was happening for 8 hours, and then he was leaving. But he wasn't on that floor. His innie thought it was 5 months, so his innie was never awake since he was shut down when he was on the outside world. So I was like, what happened? What did they do to Mark? Those 8 hours for those 3 or 4 days or whatever it was.
I don't think so. I think that he went to work with those people. And
that's
all the days that we saw, actually happened in episode 1. He was there and he talked to them.
Didn't it happen all on the same day? No, that was multiple days, right?
It was multiple days. Yeah. And I believe if you were to go back and you could go to this one, watch the first time, then go back to the first episode to watch what happened the first time, and then that's why they give you the 3, because I believe there was actually 3 times in the first episode. Yeah,
that's right. That's right.
That's what happened for each day. I don't think they actually did anything to Mark.
I got you.
Trying to get him to do his work.
All right, because that's why it ends with the call, right?
Yeah,
when
it starts. Yeah. I don't know why I missed that, because I'm thinking like, oh my god, what happened? Yeah. Because it was multiple. Because there's the days where he left, and then when he came back with the note and all that, he tried.
Yep.
Because if you think about it, you could tell an innie, right? Oh, you've been gone for 5 months. They'd never know.
How do you know the difference? Yeah.
Yeah, exactly. They would never know. So yeah.
Well, and that's what they did. They said you've been gone for 5 months. It's only been 2 days.
Yeah, absolutely.
That's how they're able to create a paper, a newspaper. Who the hell believes a newspaper?
Mm-hmm.
I don't think if anybody from like that believed it as a viewer, it was like, no, there's no way.
It's facts.
I'm sure younger people were like, what the hell's a newspaper?
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
But we saw what Mark did. He talked to the board, and Belichick was ready to take his whooping. He looked defeated. He was done, and they said, no, that's not what's going to happen. We decided, the board has decided, that we're going to give him what he wants.
Mm-hmm.
And did you see her face when he said that?
Mm-hmm.
And it's funny because she had no say in the situation at all.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like she's forced to do it. Like she might be the daughter of the guy in charge, but she's just a worker like everyone else.
Yeah, she has no power.
And that made me feel like, once again, Mr. Drummond is the one that she's working for. He's actually her handler, not necessarily her bodyguard or anything like that.
Yeah.
I said, it means they are open for business. Yes, exactly. Open for business. Upside downly. They showed the elevator light up, for everyone but Helly or Helena.
Yeah.
We'll get to that now. We'll definitely talk about that. Did y'all notice that there was no elevator ding when Helly or Helena went up? Yep, definitely. Yeah, the day Mark left at 9:15, he thought it was night, so he said good night. He didn't know he had been fired.
Oh.
He left right because he did it early, and then he walked in and told him, and that's why it was 9:15 instead of the 9 o'clock. He was only there for 12 minutes when they found out, and they brought him in and said, "Hey, we know what you did."
Yeah.
So I still think we will. Said, why is Mark so important to Lumen? That's the real question. And I think that's something we're going to definitely be able to discuss.
That's gonna be
but it has to have to do something with Gemma too.
Yeah, oh yeah.
I still think we'll find out there are multiple any versions for the Audis. That's why the intros show so many marks.
Ooh,
Keisha, you're on to something right there. That is
because that was something I always thought. Even last season, like how many times can you sever a person? You know what I mean? Like,
or can you only do it one time, but you can continue to introduce them to the same thing. So they're severed, but you can like give them water. Some of the things they drink that erases their memory.
They got restart.
Yeah,
Probably interesting.
So in this scene, I'd wonder by the look exchange between Helena and Drummond may have indicated they had a side plan for Helena to go in.
Ooh,
I like it. I agree with you, Dr. Deb. Surprise. And who is that dude looking at Mark in the hallway? Clone Mark. I think that whole thing is going to bring back Lumen founder back to life, right? That's exactly what I think. It's all about bringing Kier Egan back to life. I think that's the whole point of this entire thing.
Yeah.
It's a great point, Akeisha. I am confused by the multiple innies too.
Yeah.
Every time they go to the door, Irving draws, they get reset.
Oh.
I like it. I like it a lot. 100%. I like that.
That's interesting. I like that.
All right, so we're kind of at the end because all of a sudden Wilczek is going around to bringing his old team back. There we go. There it is.
Pineapple.
And of course, Irving, which is going to say something different. They meant something else. He wanted it upside down. And once again, at nighttime, bringing Dylan back, and they all come in, and you see the old guy getting kicked out.
Yeah,
he's pissed off.
Yeah,
I just broke a lease in Grand Rapids
3 days ago.
So once again, we know it's only been 3 days.
Yeah,
and Mark has no idea that he caused it.
Yeah. Well, that's why I figured it was doing the math because he said I only have 48 hours to put this together, right? So you got to figure if it happened on a Friday, they started all working on a Monday, and now it's like
3 days: Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday. So
now it's like Thursday. So it's only been 5 days.
Yeah,
not 5 months, 5
not
days.
5 months, 5 days. Yeah.
Let me see.
This scene
coming back
was awesome. Because I saw somebody online, you can time this when they all enter. And it times perfectly in episode 1 on when they come out of the elevator. So if you link both of them at the same timestamp and whatever, like when Mark S comes out of the elevator and he looks around, and you can time it where Dylan comes out, and then as soon as Dylan comes out, then Irving walks in the elevator, comes out. So this whole scene is the same exact time as when they all start showing back up on the Sever floor again. Like it lines up perfectly from when they get in the elevator and then they get out of the elevator. So and I think they did that on purpose because you got to look at Helly, like what everyone's saying in the comments is like, you don't hear the ding, things are different,
She knows what's going on. She knows the name.
And she just has a different demeanor. Like everyone else is just like, oh, same old shit. She's going in like scared almost.
It's like she's never been there before. She doesn't know what to expect.
Yeah. Yeah. But whoever, like somebody did it on Twitter. I saw it on Twitter. It was such a good like thing where they timed it where everyone's walking in and out. It was so cool.
I thought there was going to be more to this. I'm just walking up the stairs. And get in his car, and you see Miss Cobell. So why did they take all those days for Miss Cobell to come back? And Mark was like, "What the hell? What were you doing, lady? What the hell happened?" He still thinks that maybe she had a thing for him or any of that stuff. He doesn't know what's happening. Why would you be in my life? You've been to my house. I ate your shitty cookies. What's going on? That was crazy, right?
Yeah. And
she was like, "Dude, I bet you thought you were leaving. I thought you said you're going to quit." So when he says that they convinced you to stay, was a pineapple involved? And she says, "You're so easily swayed."
Yeah.
And just so they all know, they all have the file on Mark, and they all know he's easily swayed, he's gullible. That's why he was a perfect Mark.
Yeah. Yeah.
But she jumps in a car. She's like, all right, I'm about to leave. And Mark is like, no, you're not. And I think he does a really good job in that scene itself, saying, hey, I'm not going to just sit here and, let you leave. We have things to talk about.
Yeah.
So I bring it up. I want to make sure I didn't have the sound up. Sorry.
Mark S is a Mark. Yeah.
Before I play this, so he gets in the car. Said, what the hell? Where you going? What the hell's going on? All this stuff, right? She's confused, and she says, whatever. And then he jumps in front of her car. Yeah. And says, what the hell is this all about? What's going on? And then he finally has this realization. You see it on his face. He finally says, do you know something about Gemma? And he starts to believe that maybe she is alive. Maybe something is going on. And you look at Miss Cobell's face. And it looks like she wants to say something to him. That she really wants to say, dude, she's there. Go save her. I tried to save you. This is why I moved here. That was my whole point. She really wanted to say something, and it doesn't. And then she goes ape shit.
Yeah, just slam, like beats the steering wheel and then takes off. That was such a good scene, man. This episode, the parts where no one's talking, do
you know anything about Gemma?
Her not saying anything should pretty much give him his answers.
Oh yeah,
you know what I mean. So
breaks eye contact, and
this scene is
then freaks
so
out.
Well done overall. And
dude, the cinematography this whole episode was so good. The directing of it was so good.
Out.
Yeah.
So, and that's pretty much the end of the episode. Yeah. So that was great. I don't know, guys. That part was just so good, man.
Yeah.
So overall, what were your thoughts on the? Well, let me hit the audio of these. And so that's so good. I love this show. They put so much effort into all this for us. Yeah, like the timestamps were perfect.
Yeah.
So Irving's been reset so much that his Audi remembers the door. That's my thing. Yeah, he's been reset. That makes 100% right.
Yeah.
Yeah. So I think it's too, but I think Irv's perspective of the elevator is in his painting that he believes that he's been in Milchick's role, sending people to the testing floor. Wow.
Ooh. That he got like a demotion where he basically just works as a worker
because he became a severed employee.
Mm-hmm.
So that's good. I love the show. Yeah, that's a lot. That's really good.
Yeah.
Such a great show. Yeah. So Elena is back to wearing lumen blue before she had started wearing more colors like yellow. You could trust her and stuff like that. But now she's back to being the calming color. Very good catch. Mark's a mark. I couldn't help it. Mark's a perfect mark. I love a good pun. Mark said, I ate those nasty ass cookies and I laughed.
Yeah. Mark was a dick in this episode, like Audi Mark. Like, he was just so mean, whether it was intentional or unintentional.
Hurt, you can see the pain on this.
He's broken, man. He's just a broken person.
Yeah. I agree. The facial acting in this episode was incredible.
Yeah.
So Ben Stiller is killing it. Yeah, faces reveal so much without saying anything. Yeah. If I had time, it'd be cool to break down the new intro like you did for From No Pressure. Oh, then that's actually a really good idea.
Yeah, that new intro was good. And the first thing I thought when I saw it was Nikisha, because she's like, "Oh, I hope we get that intro back and we get a new one that was probably just as good." Like, it was a good intro.
No, it was great. That was a great.
I enjoyed it a lot. Yeah,
but
I mean, it's so good they released it on social media before the episode dropped. Like, oh, here's the new intro. And, people were like, "Cool, it was good."
So why I pull that up? Tell me what your thoughts were overall for this episode.
Oh, great episode. I enjoyed it. Got me excited for the next one. So can't wait to see what happens. Really good episode.
Yeah, same for me. This was such a great episode. The direction, whoever the director was, I forget who it was, did such a great job with framing things and all the symbolism and stuff, and using the darkness with just a little bit of light in certain spots, whether it be the hallway, the houses, stuff like that. Like, it was so good. It was, like, really well done.
It's getting more and more intense. The small details are meaning more and more. That is a great show. Writing a good show, when you take so much time in between seasons, you need great detail. You need all those things to work perfectly. And the fact that they took their time, even with the scene you talked about in episode 1, with in the hallway, and they showed all the camera views and all the stuff that they had to do to do it perfectly, and how they did it over months of doing stuff. That's crazy. It feels like they really took their time in all these aspects, and I'm loving it. I'm really loving it. Last thing we're gonna do tonight, guys, we're going to just look at this and
I checked the private message. I sent the link to that Twitter post where they time it, they line up the episode 1 and episode 2 stuff. So after I don't know if you want to watch it after the intro. Yeah.
Okay. It's just so different though. CD has his tag on.
Mm-hmm.
See the balloon.
The heads. I love it's like this claymation CGI kind of stuff too.
But did you see the blue and the gray skirt of Helly and Helena? And who he is being on the inside, and they pulling out
pushing out the Severance chip. But it's like he's in his pajamas, so it's like a dream almost too, The goat.
What does the goat mean?
It's the goat.
And why is there so many of himself? Are they using him in all these places? Maybe in every single one of those areas, there's a mark there. So they cloned him, and they're using a mark and seeing which one works. And then what do you think about that? That part? I'm gonna slow that one down. That part really freaked me out.
With like Miss Cobell being this like,
omniscient type of being, putting light on everything. That was crazy.
Mm-hmm. That's why, is she the whistleblower then? Because she's, like you said, putting the light on everything.
Did you guys like that part though? Hold on, this again. See if I can. How do you slow it down? At speed. Did you see that? How switching? Going from Helly to his wife.
Oh shit, yeah.
Started like it's his wife and it's Helly, and it's his wife and it's Helly. So who's he really in love with? That was awesome.
Oh, I didn't even catch that. That is good.
And what to believe, because you don't remember what was it, a dream or what's going on. And you see here, look at the body, and has a baby. Here's the baby of him. So and then himself splitting his own mind open, dude. That was awesome.
Yeah. That part remind me of Malignant.
Yes,
If you ever seen Malignant.
Yep.
The split personality, 2 people in 1 body kind of thing.
All right, let me see if I can pull this up.
Yeah, that is such a great intro though. Like, that was so good.
All right, so this is the one of the timestamps. So we're gonna watch this out real quick, and then we'll get out of here, guys. I know everyone's tired. We're doing it a long time. I'm sorry, but we had a lot to talk about today. So let's just check this out with us real quick.
Yeah, I thought this was so well done. I don't know whoever did it on Twitter.
So this is the thing, how it's happening at the same time. There we go.
Yeah, so the top is episode 1 and the bottom is episode 2.
Comes in the elevator. Wow.
Yeah.
Dylan's there. Checks out everything.
Yeah. This one, when I saw it earlier today, this like really tripped me out. I'm like, it's so good. Because like the timing is so perfect.
Dude, what the hell?
Because as soon as the door closes, like it cuts to the next person, you know. So like they never they're always so close to being together, but they never are like quite there.
It's perfect timing. Oh my god. Irving getting pat down. Elevator's there. I want to see. Do they see it show the light? That would be great. Oh, I can't see it. Ellie comes in. Irving pops up. Even though I thought they were in the basement, it keeps on saying it's
going up, right? I mean, obviously that's got to be a lie, right? I mean, it's got to be. I mean, I still believe after this episode, like she didn't get her, you know,
when he walks out, he walks out up some stairs, but doesn't mean he probably walks down to get into the office to the security office, and then takes the elevator up to the floor.
Probably. See, he keeps looking back for Helly, and then she finds that it opens up,
and she didn't know what to do. She's freaking out, and she doesn't even know to hug him. This is the first time, dude.
Even the questions she asked are not, I don't know. Like everyone else came in like all freaked out or whatever. She just can't, like almost like a fake, like acting.
And she lied.
Yep. Yeah. She lied, but that was the first time she ever seen it. That right.
Right, but that's why she lied, right? Because the real one would have told, "Oh, my Audi is a this and my Audi is a that," and she's running that whole show. She would have said something. But the 100%. Fact that she lied showed me that it wasn't in it.
Yeah, because why would the innie need to lie about something like that?
Right.
You know what I mean? You know, it would just like if she would say the truth, it would push them harder to like, oh shit, you're somebody who can actually make a difference.
Yeah,
let's really try to get you back out. Let's do something. You know, but no, yeah, she hid that.
Yeah.
So I only thought that in case because he wouldn't have seen the down arrow being in the elevator. Gotcha. Did y'all watch the behind the scenes at the show? Always do.
I haven't yet.
Really?
No,
I've seen like 4 times. Audi Mark is a jerk. Remember how he does he did Alexa, had sex and went to witness the murder and told her he didn't leave the house.
Was that season 1?
Yeah.
My daughter didn't like the editing, the episode, all the transitions and fade in. She didn't. She did that's lazy. I wonder if it was purposeful, meaning it means something. It really means something. Yeah. It was interesting and unique how they used the open space to fade into the next scene. Yeah. There's a baby founder in that bed scene. Yeah, that's what we saw. So once again, they try to put that consciousness into this new clone. Keisha says, thanks for the stream, guys. It's been fun. Dr. Deb having much fun reading each other's minds. Obviously, you're smart. Look how big Miss Cobell is.
Yeah, that opening.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
To read minds again, Keisha, feel the exact same way about you. Much love, Keisha. Looks like you're reintegrating, and integration is coming.
Ooh, that'd be interesting.
You see the thing you be pushed out.
Yeah.
Yeah. You better follow the proper aftercare instructions. Yeah. All the better. I think you're right, Nikisha. Thanks for showing this. This is so cool. This is satisfying.
It was really a cool like time lineup.
It is. There's only 39 minutes after Helly kissed Mark, right? So that's awkward hug. Made no sense if it's Helly. Exactly.
Uh-huh.
First time here. Glad you guys popped up on the feed. I'll be back. Appreciate you, Delta Dan. We had a whole lot of fun talking about all these things. We always try to read all your comments because you guys are really, we get the best feedback from you guys. You guys tell us what, if that makes sense or if it doesn't make sense or if it's a new idea. This is why we do it. So you guys are hilarious, and I appreciate being able to moderate this with you guys, and I can't wait till next week. I wish it would come sooner.
Yeah.
But yeah, me and Anzo will figure out this week what time it comes out, and if it does come out early, we'll do some type of watch party with you guys, and the opportunity for you to see it early.
If it comes out at 3:00 in the morning, that's a no go because I ain't setting up that late to do it. I'm sorry, but that's not happening. But if it comes out earlier, yeah, for sure, we'll definitely let you guys know.
Yeah, I don't believe in 3:00 in the morning, so I'm just letting you guys know that.
I mean, that's when I go to
bed.
That's what Tank goes to bed at 3:00 every night. And I'm like, all right, I'll see you later, man.
Sometimes I'm up that late too, but like to stay up, do it for an hour, then talk a bit. No, that's not happening.
Nah, it's not worth it.
2:00 is my limit. I'm too old for that. Thank you guys all. Thanks, Anso, for being here. Like always, shout out your channel before we get out of here.
Yeah, it's all good. Bigger Ford Entertainment is right there. You guys can check it out. It's about the Spoiler Kings tonight. You know what I mean? So
because we're gonna be in on Tuesday talking about From, breaking down another episode of From, which is the best. I'm telling Tank, you ain't even gotta watch the episode. Just watch us, man. We got you.
Just get all caught up, you guys.
But
yeah, we did some cooking last week, boy. There were some good theories last week, boy.
I wrote down the theories from last week too. I was like, man, I'm gonna send it to you. I'm gonna type this stuff up because I think we got something going, man.
Yeah, for real.
So yeah, no, definitely, guys. If you could join us on Tuesday on Big for Entertainment, we'll be doing that. And then, of course, for our shows, guys, Mondays and Thursdays, 9:30, we're going live, talking about whatever movie came out, whatever show came out, having fun. And then we'll be back here on Saturdays, breaking down Severance episode 3, 4, 5, and all the way to the end. But thank you, guys. I'm Brian the Grizzly. It's Tank Kramer. We're the Spoiler Kings, and we'll see you guys next week.
Peace.
Later.